how freeing it was to live the simple life. It was all strangely liberating. Kate realized, after the first dozen or so episodes, there was a certain formula to these shows. Still, it didn't bother her. Maybe she was hooked. Each show began by showing how a single person or couple, and occasionally a family, were dissatisfied with a lifestyle that had gotten too big, too busy, or simply too costly. They would then decide upon a tiny home that suited their needs, and voila! By the end of the 30-minute episode, the smiling people would triumphantly move into a perfectly adorable and highly efficient miniature house where, Kate assumed, they were sure to live happily ever after. By late on Sunday evening, still nothing from Jake or Zinnia. Kate knew a real sense of desperation. Unlike those liberated tiny homeowners, she felt imprisoned. Except her jail cell was an enormous, luxurious home, and she felt slightly ridiculous. Who would pity someone living in this large, lovely house, complete with vaulted ceilings, hardwood floors, home theater, cook's kitchen, spa-like bathrooms? But get real. Why did she need 4.5 baths? She only used 2 of the toilets, but still had to clean the other 3 to keep them from getting a water ring. And her kitchen? She used to enjoy cooking, but she probably hadn't cooked a real meal since last Christmas, nearly 6 months ago. She didn't need that 6-burner stove any more than she needed the oversized refrigerator. And she wasn't even sure what she had stashed in the multitude of extra tall cherry cabinets, clever culinary contraptions that she probably couldn't even remember how to use. And what about the acres of cold, hard black granite countertop? Good grief, she spent more time dusting the surface than using it. It was all so ridiculous. Why did one woman need so much? Kate glanced at the TV screen, pausing it once again in order to study the interior design of a particularly well-constructed tiny home. This one was a contemporary design, with excellent craftsmanship, and very clever. Every inch of the 280 square feet looked fully utilized, and yet the small space didn't seem crowded or cluttered. She stared at the little washer-dryer unit, tucked neatly beneath the soft ladder, noticing that it even had a miniature pull-down clothes-drying rack above it. So handy. Kate cringed to think of her own laundry room. Oh, sure, she had been grateful for the extra-large room when the kids were small, the deep sink and granite countertops with storage shelves for the kids' stuff. But as she considered the hike from her second-floor master bedroom clear down to the finished basement, well, it just made her tired. Plus, it reminded her that she still hadn't done laundry. Turning her attention back to the TV, she pushed play and watched as the new homeowner, a divorcee a bit older than Kate, climbed the ladder into her cozy sleeping loft. Showing her built-in bookshelves filled with interesting novels and her handy reading light, the woman looked happy as a clam. She pointed out the ledge created to hold her coffee mug, then leaned back into a pile of fluffy, colorful pillows and, gazing up through the skylight above her, she let out a long, contented sigh. "It reminds me of the treehouse I had as a child," she said blissfully. "I never want to leave this place." "Well, I sure want to leave this place." Kate tossed the remote down, making a different kind of sigh. Had this mad binge-watching messed with her head? The more she'd watched, the more discontented she'd become, like the proverbial kid with her nose pressed to the candy store window. Filled with a desperate longing for less stuff, less ownership, and more simplicity, she suddenly despised her stupid big house. She felt lost in the cavernous great room, overwhelmed by the tall rock fireplace that Kenneth had insisted upon. And the 20-foot ceiling? Who needed it? The thought of facing the future in a house that would never feel cozy wasn't just overwhelming, it was pathetic. It was nearly midnight when she finished the last episode and finally went upstairs, only to be reminded that the spacious master suite no longer felt cozy. Not since losing Kenneth. The vaulted ceiling and hardwood floors made it feel cold up there. And her spa-like master bath was too big and drafty for a nice warm bath, not to mention she got chilled every time she emerged from the oversized shower. And as for that rain showerhead, she was tired of getting her naturally curly hair wet every time she took a quick rinse. Kate paced back and forth in her bedroom, mulling everything over, wondering what she might do to make her home cozier. But really, wouldn't it make more